All right, we're back here with another top 10 NBA draft sleepers. So before we start, let me hear your opinions down below. Like, comment, and stay to the end of the video. So CJ Elleby, coming out of Washington State. Is this interesting? Shooter, he could have gotten the draft last year as a 19-year-old, but now he's coming in as a 20-year-old. And he's projected to just be a shooter, high volume shooter. Last year he wasn't amazing, but then he came back and he shot 39% from the field, though he did average, as a 19-year-old sophomore, 18.4 points. And he's a really good size, 6'6", so hopefully he has the physical profile to defend ones, twos, and threes. We just don't know if he hasn't shown that he's the most explosive or the best defender yet, but he does have great three-point shot making skills. He has good speed and good handles and decent footwork for a player of his size. The thing is that Washington State, and including LB, didn't have anybody shooting over 34% from three. So it's not like his situation was helpful on him being a good perimeter scorer. Though he was shooting about 2.3s per game, and he was shooting 82.3 free throw percentage. So he has the range and the stroke you want from someone. Though he's probably going to be near the end of the second round or choose to go undrafted and try to make a summer league team and then go from there, because he could probably get more unguaranteed money and he'd rather just bet on himself. So the next guy is a guy I know really well. Actually, one of my friends played AAU basketball in New York with this guy, Elijah Hughes. I actually have a video done on Elijah Hughes. But either way, so Elijah Hughes, he played, I think it was at ECU, Eastern Carolina. He might have been coach to Carolina, but he transferred to Syracuse, and they run a zone D. People, if you don't know that, but he has this 6'6" frame, and he's a very versatile player, especially on the offensive side. He could be a late first rounder. I'm saying more to the second round. He can score on his own pretty well. I'm not saying consistently, but if need to be, he can probably put up 10, 12 points in the NBA. But it's his size that makes him interesting. He is 6'6". He's great zone defender. So my thought is, look, if he can come in and just be a really good 3-and-D guy, not to try to do too much on offense and not to try to be over aggressive on defense, if he can just get a lot of aggressive plays and make hustle plays, Elijah Hughes could be one of, if not the biggest steal in the draft for whoever takes him, because he could be kind of a Wesley Matthews type player. I think he very much reminds me of Wes Matthews, and I think that's a very competent player to have on your team, in my humble opinion. So with 8, Malachi Flynn. So I didn't know Malachi Flynn was that good of a player until during the season I had been betting. So I bet on San Diego State because they were really interesting. So Malachi Flynn he's a junior, and every single year since he's been in the college game, obviously, he has improved by efficiency, percentages, scorings. Everything has improved every single season. He's a player who has improved every single season, and that was how it was last season. So obviously the downside with him is he's a junior. He's about probably, is he 21, 22, and he's 6'1", and he doesn't have the most explosive profile. He's nothing special about his physical profile, but he's fundamentally sound, and I think that's one of the best things, because if you have a fundamentally sound game and you have really good intangibles, your game ages well, even with injuries or anything. If you're able just to shoot, to dribble, those things, you don't need speed. You've seen Chris Paul. Chris Paul isn't fast anymore, but because he's such an elite dribbler, just because he's such an elite scorer, he can still be an elite player, an all-star. I'm not saying Malachi Flynn's going to be an all-star, but heavens no. Though, what I am saying is, Malachi Flynn could be, for a team like the Boston Celtics, for a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, for a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, that need a backup point guard who's pretty competent, who can actually score at will, who can pass, who can defend, who has that hustle, who plays with a chip on his shoulder. That's Malachi Flynn. That's a guy you want to have on your team, because he doesn't really have any weaknesses besides obviously his physical profile and him, not being elite at any sort of thing. But one thing he has going for him is he will try super hard. He's a really good shooter. He shot 43% on his runners. He had 38% on his pull-ups. He's a great scorer. He's a great scorer. He shot 40% off the catch on catch and shoot threes. He had a 3.2 steal percentage, which ranked near the top among defenders. I think he's overlooked because of his age, but he has the IQ and the skill to go. So Desmond Bane, he's got great size. That's 7. Desmond Bane, interesting enough. He's a senior. You gotta put him down, but he's one of the best 3 shooters in the league. He's not as good as Buddy Hield 3 shooting, but if there was a Buddy Hield or one of the best 3 shooters in the league or coming into this draft, it's obviously going to be Desmond Bane, and this is why he's probably going to be a first-round player. He's a fringe first-round player, and you've seen how last year the Phoenix Suns took at number 11 a 23-year-old, and it's working. The thing is, he's 6'6", he's a 2 guard. He shot over 40% from 3. Look, we've seen 22-year-old Buddy Hield, another first-round lottery pick. I'm not saying Desmond Bane is going to go in the lottery. I'm saying he's going to go in the first round, more than likely, due to the fact that, look, teams love the 3-point. So if you're 6'6", playing the shooting guard, the combo guard position, that means you're great at defending. Probably, or you have the potential to be great at defending the 2 position. Then, look, at the 3 position, you can probably guard some of them, especially if you have some decent size or weight to throw around. You can definitely lock down point guards if they're smaller than you, and you can shoot threes. You're going to be a great 3-and-D. Guys love to have 3-and-D. Look at how the Rockets are doing. Look at what the Bucks are doing, okay? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. And if you're shooting 40% in college, and pretty much in every category, he's converting 43 pull-ups at a 41%. He's shooting 40% of his shots off screens and 12 of 22 on runners. Okay, he's not a great creator or playmaker, but if you have a good point guard in position or other scorers and you need someone in your contending team like the Lakers, or if you're the Raptors or the Clippers or anybody who just need a guy to pop in, like essentially like somebody who's more athletic and better defensive than Joe Harris, but with Joe Harris type shooting ability is what you want. He's definitely going to go in the first round. So Kelly Tilly. I thought Kelly Tilly was going to pull out. And he hasn't stayed healthy. He's essentially Kevin Love. If Kevin Love was coming in the draft today no, I'm going to take that back. He's not Kevin Love, but he's a poor man's Kevin Love. Kelly Tilly. He's a center, power forward, who's not good defensively. He's got good IQ. He's kind of got a classic pick and pop game, but mainly he just shoots threes. He's a guy you're going to have him stand in the corner and just, he's not going to get you defensive stops. He'll hustle, he'll rebound, but if he goes to the right system where he's just focused on shooting threes, his job isn't to get rebounds, hella rebounds, but he's just being a defensive player and he's getting blocks, or not blocks, but making smart reads and doing what you need to do in the paint, and just pretty much a Brook Lopez type situation. If he goes into a situation like Brook Lopez has on the Milwaukee Bucks, then I think Kelly Tilly could be good, but he's not a player that will fit in every single offense, if that's the right way to put it. Alright, with the 5th guy, it's Skylar Mays. I've heard a lot of good things. He's one of the best defensive prospects in this draft. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit NBA draft talk about him. He's been compared to Malcolm Brogdon in the sense that he's one of those older guys who's just really ready, but he might fall because of age, and he can shoot with the best of it. He's a really good ball handler. He's good at pick and rolls. He's good at pull-up threes. He's really good at catch and shoots, and he's a chance of being this year's draft's Malcolm Brogdon, in my opinion. Xavier Tillman. I took a dab, so I'm kind of out of breath. But Xavier Tillman, I don't think he went back. I don't think he went back into the thing, but he was the Big Ten's Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of these guys who has really good, like IQ, basketball IQ. He's a power forward center. He's kind of a tweener. I think he could be a really good center. You know, his play style is just, I'm trying to think of a guy who he can get compared to that's at like a power forward center. Who he's 6'8", but he plays with the size that he's bigger than. You know, he's 6'8", 245, but he plays really, really bigger than his actual size. And you know, he'd be great for the Sixers to throw him next to Embiid, or the Celtics. I would love to see him on. I'm trying to think as who he's like, but he can shoot the three with him. He's pretty much his own breed. He's one of these like power forward center, you know, obviously like a little bit bigger version of Draymond Green combined with some, you know, Draymond Green combined with I'm trying to think of another guy with his type of skill, because he's in a bigger body, like a Robert Covington mixed with Draymond Green in a sense. That's the best way to describe him. Grant Riller is one of the best senior guys. He might go undrafted because by choice, because he wouldn't want to go in the second round. But he, like Malachi Flynn, improved every year. I think Grant Riller was a transfer, but he might have just stayed at Charleston all these years. Everyone from Charleston that I've talked to thinks Grant Riller is amazing. He's a great scorer. I really think he'd be great for contending teams, again, like the Lakers or the Bucks. But Grant Riller, 6'3", he just has that basketball IQ, the intangibles, the fundamental skills that you want from your player. And, you know, it's just, Grant Riller is just so interesting of a player. He has he has everything you want. The only thing his downside is that he's older. And it's just because he got better every season. He kept developing. And he's one of those players that obviously he's maybe close to his full potential, but he's really good. And he could be an immediate contributor. I love Josh Green. I think he could be one of the best 3-and-D guys. Josh Green could be like your third or fourth best scorer on a team, but he reminds me a lot of Danny Green. I think honestly, he, like, not his skill, but the role they play. He could play a Danny Green type role. And like obviously it's funny that their names are both Green, but a really good shooter who he's not, you know, Danny Green's never going to create for himself, but he can be a low volume 3-point shooter. And I really think that could be interesting. Really, really interesting. So the last guy, I love this guy, Alex Povetsky. Alex Povetsky, if he goes to the right area and with a team that wants to develop him, like, he could be the next Giannis. I think he commented on my YouTube video. He's about 7'2" right now. They say he's a power forward, but he plays shooting guard. He says. He plays like a shooting guard. Obviously, he can play power forward, but I think he could be a mix of Kristaps Porzingis and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I really do think this. And yeah, I get it. He's raw. He's about 200 pounds, maybe 210, 7'2". He needs to put some weight on. But Alex Povetsky has the shot to be one of the best players in this NBA draft. I think anybody who gets Alex Povetsky is going to have to build the offense around him like Giannis has done. I truly do believe Alex Povetsky has high potential. I would love to draft Alex Povetsky. So we're going to go back. Number 1 is Alex Povetsky. Number 2 is Josh Green. Number 3 is Grant Riller. Number 4 is Xavier Tillman. Number 5 is Skylar Mays. Number 6 is Kellyan Tilly. Number 7 is Desmond Bane. Number 8 is Malachi Flynn. Number 9 is Elijah Hughes. And 10 is CJ Ellevy. So let me hear your opinions down below. As always, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, because I know I will. Till next time, guys. Peace out.